The name's RG or GV, and I'll take my martini in the drain because I drink beer, motherfucker. Hey, what's up? It's Lobster Trucker, your favorite Lobster Trucker, anyway. And I'm RG with RGV TV. I got another gun review for you guys today. This is the Bersa Thunder 380 Plus. What does plus mean, you say? It means not 8 rounds, but 15 rounds, man. 15 rounds. Get 15 rounds in this mag. It is empty, just so you know. And we're going to check right there. Nothing in there. Yeah. Nice little shooter. Now you might say, why a 380? Why the hell would you get something like that? Well, let's just look. Let's look at these 2 rounds. So, you see, the casing is almost identical. It's almost the same size, right? Just the 380 is just a bit shorter. But if you have a nice, high-quality bullet, hollow point, you get some good expansion out of it, you get a good stopper, a good bad person stopper. No, the 380 is a great round. Yeah, it's come a long way, and there's you know, all kinds of ooh, I got a splinter. That doesn't feel too good. I don't know where I got that. You get some decent ammo, and you know, you don't really have anything to worry about. So, Bersa 380, the Bersa, the Argentinian company that stole one of Beretta's designers. No, yeah, they didn't stole. One of Beretta's designers immigrated from Italy to Argentina, started this company Bersa in the 50s. They've been around ever since. And they are very, very well known for this. They have a combat, they have a combat plus, they have a concealed carry, they just have the basic Thunder. This is the plus version. And this is kind of a little Walther PPK clone. Honestly, I like the little guy. These grips are really, really nice. These are rubberized grips, and they do actually make wood grips for these. I think Altamont grip makes some, and I like Altamont. I have one of their grips for my revolver. You get some front sort of stippling on that rubber. Nothing on the back, though. Nothing on the back. That's a little disappointing. They should have something on the back, but you could go somewhere and get some laser etching into that. That's not a big deal. So, a couple things about this. This has a magazine disconnect. Now, we did clear this already, and it was a pain in the ass because I have to unload and load this, and yeah, it's just a pain. This has a magazine disconnect. It doesn't do shit. First of all, it's unsafe. But even when it's not unsafe, it's not doing anything at all. So it has to be in there. Okay? Now, put that in there. This has a safety as well as a decocker. But with this decocker, you have to push it all the way. Push it until it doesn't push anymore, or else you're going to have a false sense of security. See how that's up like that? Now I'm going to put it down to where it wants to stop, and you think it's on safe right now, right? It's still fired. That's not good. So make sure that when you put this down, don't just stop where it wants to stop. Push it all the way. Okay? Now you have a dead trigger. Honestly though, I would never ever rely on that safety. If you're going to carry it without the safety on and on double action. The reason for that is this double action is so unbelievably heavy and long that you really have to put a lot into it, and you can't short stroke the trigger. Like going out to here and then pulling it, it doesn't do anything. It's clicking, but it's not dropping the hammer. It's not bringing it back. It's not dropping it. So you can't just like crazy go nuts just pulling that thing. You can't short stroke it. You have to bring it all the way forward and all the way back. Now, this is, it's a semi-auto, so, once you pull that trigger, the blowback brings it back. Now you're going to have the reset, right? So let's check that reset. So it's not crazy long reset. It's, it's not crazy short. It's not crazy long. Not bad, right? At first, I did a video about this, and I'm going to delete that video. I don't like it. I didn't really like the trigger all that much. Since we got all the gunk out of it, it's had a break-in period. Now it's actually shooting pretty well. So this does have a frame lock. You can see that. So this did come with a key, and you can lock the entire frame. So it doesn't matter if this is on safety or not. It's one in the chamber. Nothing's going to happen. It just gives it that dead trigger. Like you have it on safety or whatever. It'll lock the entire thing. This is a blowback design, so when you take the slide off, the barrel is actually fixed in position. It's fairly easy to break down, fairly easy to put apart. Again, with these, I believe they take the Glock sights. I think you can do Glock and SIG. Again, same thing as the TPR9. I ended up just, you can see, I painted it with some glow paint that's specifically designed for gun sights, and it glows pretty good at nights, and it also made the sights brighten up a little bit better with white during the day. So you have better white sights, 3-dot sights, and then at night you can actually see. Now, unfortunately, these don't have any kind of a rail, so you can't do any kind of light with these. However, they do make grips with lasers on them for these, so you could do that if you want. So I don't know. I think it's a nice gun. It's pretty small, kind of. I can almost, cover this up with my hand. It's for a gun this size, it's pretty meaty and hefty. But it's nice, and I will say I have plenty of, you can see where the line is for the slide, and then what the meat of my hand is. I have plenty of room, so I don't have to worry about slide bite, and trigger bite isn't that bad either. So again, these guns are made for up close and personal. You're not going to be shooting these from crazy distances. If you go to the range for this, you're only going to be putting your target out maybe 15 or 20 feet. This is an up close and personal dirty gun. You're getting up close, personal, up close and dirty. That's what it is. I mean, but I like it. I think it's sturdy, so you're not going to have to worry about the recoil as much. And then the grips are really, really good. And then of course, you get a really nice That's not the right magazine. Magazine's in it. You got a decent magazine that can carry 15 rounds. So, 15 rounds of this ain't bad, I mean, it's not much smaller than this 9mm. I mean, 9mm is definitely more so the way to go, but I mean, a lot of people feel that a 38 Special isn't all that great to use for self-defense, and I beg to differ. I think it's a great round for self-defense. And 380s, 38 Specials, 9mm, they all fall around that 9mm size, that casing. It's kind of the same as when you have the 10mm platform, when you have 10mm, and then you have 40, which is basically a 10mm short, and then you have 357 SIG, which is basically a 40 casing tapered down to fit a 9mm projectile. You have those different relations between cartridges, and the 38 Special, the 380, and the 9mm all have something in common. They're fairly similar in diameter. You're just looking at a little bit less of a charge, so you're going to have less performance. If you were to put this and measure your velocity and all your power and everything that you get from these, it's probably going to be significantly less than 9mm. However, there are some 9mm rounds that have that run the risk of too much penetration, and with something with a 380, you might have just enough penetration to where you're not putting any innocent bystanders at risk, but this is just going to go in and expand, put a nice hole in somebody, but then just stay there and nobody else gets hurt. So I don't know, but these Bersas have been selling for a really long time. The Bersa Thunder line, they do have the 9mm, the TPR 9s, TPR 9CCs, and then they have the TPR Pro 45s and 40s, and full size and concealed carry sizes. They also have some elite professional performance packages for some of them. I think they just call them the pluses or something like that. I don't know, but they're the performance plus or the X or whatever weird name that they usually give stuff that's like competition level. But this is great little gun. My wife likes it. I like it. I would carry this easy. I think the only trouble I would have is there's not much room for my finger in there. So firing on the double action, it's a little difficult. Pop that off, save. I mean, I can get my finger in and I can pull it, but this part of the trigger kind of gets in my way. Now, when it's at single action, I get my finger in there just fine, have all kinds of room. It's just when it's double action, I barely have enough room. And then you get a little bit of trigger bite there. So, yeah, I would carry this for sure. I mean, it's better than nothing. It's definitely a lot lighter weight. It's good for the summertime. They do have the concealed carry versions, which has a single stack. It's a little bit thinner, a little lighter. So you could potentially throw these in your pocket or something like that. But yeah, not bad. Not bad little shooter. Not bad at all. It's got a nice, I'd say it has a pretty nice beaver tail like there. I like that. Protects that meat of your hand. That's pretty nice. Yeah. I'm trying to break that down. This doesn't want to work for me today. Getting caught on something. But yeah, ain't bad. My wife uses a belly band holster to keep this in place. Works out pretty good. I don't really think there's anything more I need to say about this. I mean, with that magazine in, I still got my pinky on there. And, you know, pretty easy to conceal. Has a little bit of serrations right here. You do have some rear serrations. Nothing on the front, though. Just some rear serrations on the slide. Some serrations here on the trigger guard. Everything is pretty smooth, though. I don't really feel too many sharp edges. Maybe a little bit here. But like on the trigger guard, not really anything crazy sharp. And the magazine release works pretty good, and that shoots out pretty nicely. You know, so that's kind of nice. But anyway, that's it, folks. That was the Bersa Thunder 380 Plus. Very popular. They sell them in all kinds of colors, like teal and purple and pink and all that crap. I like the combat version. The combat version has like a dark army green grips and stuff like that, and cool sights and everything. But you can get grips for that have the laser on them, and then it has, when you grab the grip, it's an activator to activate the laser, which is kind of nice. I'm a big fan of anything laser. It just means you have to think less when stuff like that happens. You don't have to go and fuck around trying to line up sights if you're not out practicing. The skill in shooting is definitely something that can go away with time. You have to practice and practice and practice. And it sucks right now that, you know, ammunition is fairly scarce, and when you do find it, it's very expensive. But you have to find a way to practice. They do have some things out there where you actually put, there's a bullet with a battery in it, has a laser, and you actually put that in your own gun, and you can get these things that can sense it or whatever, and you set up your phone to record it, and you basically practice dry firing and drawing and all that, and it's supposed to help you. Now, of course, you're not dealing with the recoil, so there's that. And recoil is definitely something that you need to learn how to control. But again, it really helps you with the drills, and lifting your shirt, pulling up, and lining up your sights, making sure that you have a proper hold on your pistol. So those things can be pretty helpful. I know they have a couple different ones on Amazon, and they run anywhere from $100 to a couple $100, and even more for the really, really nice ones, the ones that time you, and they read your form and tell you what you're doing wrong, blah blah blah. Those are a lot more expensive, but you can get one of the cheaper ones, and it's going to work just as good. So that's it. So we did the TPR9 earlier, and then we just did this little one here. Now, Bersa does put out another one called the BP9, which the BP9 just stands for black polymer. That's actually, I think it's a double action only. It's an internal hammer, double action only, polymer gun, single stack, only can carry, I think, 8 rounds. But I heard that the trigger on it is phenomenal. The reset on it is crazy. The trigger on it is crazy. Pretty much everything about it is pretty nice. and they're pretty cheap. I think they run around 200 bucks, which isn't bad. These right here. So the TPR9, I think that was running around like 450 or something like that. This ran about 320, something like that for this. This is just a little Walther PBK clone, basically. It's a great little budget shooter, 380. Just a lot of good things that people have to say about it, and then there are people that have nothing but bad things to say about it. But the biggest thing is when you get this from the factory, clean it immediately. Get all the nasty gunk out of it that the factory puts in it when they ship it. Get through there, clean it really, really good, and then go shoot it. And you know, before you start judging this, throw about 500 rounds through it, because every gun needs some type of break-in period. So you do have to consider that. I mean, don't just, you know, get a brand new gun, put, you know, 30 rounds through it, and then that's it. And you know, it had one misfeed or whatever, and it's stovepiped, and now you're like, oh, fuck this gun, blah blah blah. No, it has to have a break-in period. Okay, so you know, give it a couple hundred rounds at the very least before you start judging it too much. Now, after you do a couple hundred rounds, and then you clean it and go and do some more firing, and it's still misfeeding and stove topping on you, blah blah blah, then call Bersa, tell them about the problem, and you can either send this back to them and they will fix it, or they will just send you a new one and you just send this back to them. They'll just send you a new one, and they'll make sure they test the new one, make sure it's running fine. Bersa is pretty good about that. So there's that. They're a pretty good company. So the only thing about Bersa is I don't know who is importing for them, because I know that the other people that they were using, I think they went defunct or something because of COVID. So yeah, they're using a different importer right now, so you'll have to look that up. I'm not exactly sure who that is. But if you're interested, these are being sold at Gunbroker for fairly inexpensive price. Now these 15 round ones, the Thunder Plus, it's going to run you more money. You can get a concealed carry version with only just a single stack, an 8-round magazine, single stack. You can get those for under $300. You can probably get them for like 250 bucks. So, you know, $250 for a little tiny gun that you can put in your pocket that's fairly reliable, has 8 rounds of 380. That ain't bad. That's almost like having a little stub nose 38 that only carries 5 rounds, except with the single stack you get 3 more rounds. You get 8-round single stack. So not too bad. Check them out on Gunbroker. These are a great buy for anybody, really. You know, like I said, I would carry this. I can operate this pretty well. I get a really awesome grip on that, so that's nice. And the trigger, you know, it's not the greatest trigger in the world on this, but it's fairly decent. I'm not a big fan of this decocker safety. I think it's kind of flimsy, and the trigger is, you know, very long and tight, but it's not horrible. It's not the worst trigger I've ever felt in my life. I've felt worse. You know, it's not too bad. So, but it just needs to be broken in. It'll probably run a lot smoother. So that's it for that, guys. Glad you stuck around and watched. And like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. Write me a message. Tell me how stupid I am because I got something wrong. I don't know. Do whatever the hell you want to do. It's a free country. I don't get monetized for these videos at all. We are going to be doing some live fire demonstrations. However, ammunition is very, very expensive these days. So if you do desperately want to see live fire demonstrations and you want me to do it now, figure out a way to maybe you could Venmo me a little bit of money so I could go out and buy some ammunition. I know if I get 50 people on here watching and everybody donates, you know, a couple bucks, then that's enough, you know, and I can throw in more, but it definitely helps out getting the ammunition so I can put on a good show for you guys, because otherwise I'm just going to keep the ammunition that I have here at home for self-defense. I'm not going to go shoot it. But if you guys are willing to help pay, we'll do some more live fire demonstrations. I'll be doing live fire demos too, but we're not going to be doing mag dumps. If you want, that's what I'm saying. If you want mag dumps, you got to throw into that shit, because I just can't. I can't afford it on my own. So anyway, thank you. Have a great night, great day, great night, great week, great month, great year, great life. Do whatever you got to do to stay happy. Stay happy. Stay positive. Don't take in what those fucking idiots in the Pentagon and the House of Reps and Congress and all those morons in the White House. Don't listen to them. They're all idiots. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Life goes on. Just focus on you. Focus on your family, your loved ones, your friends. Have a good time. Take life by the balls. Make it yours. Right? But also, be safe. Be safe. So, practice your Second Amendment right. Carry a weapon. But be safe doing it and stay legal. Abide by your local, state, and federal laws. You don't want to go to jail for something stupid. But be safe. And you have a right to carry a firearm. And as long as you still have that right, then go do it. But do it safely. Right? So, all right. Over and out. It's your favorite lobster trucker. RG with RGV TV. Take care now. Bye-bye then.